Phil, it's a hard-earned point, but a deserved point.
Hard-earned point, it always will be when you come here. I was pleasantly surprised looking at the pitch before the game, and yes, there's a slope on it. Everybody knows there's a slope at Spennymoor, but you know, bottom line is we had to deal with two different types of playing football. In the first half, I was so disappointed with the way we had prepared for this game and really didn't come to the party, you know. And then consequently, it's a goal, an uncharacteristic mistake by Christian Dibble, who gets caught in no man's land, and again, an uncharacteristic first half performance by Joe Fowkes. But both of them came good, you know, in the second half, but the whole team did as well. Half time was brutal, it was harsh, it was words that needed to be said, and at the time, thank God it was only one. But second half, we not only equalised, I mean, should have won the game comfortably, but I'm sick to death of coming away from games, regardless of whether home or away, and having played as well, should have won the game and haven't really got what just deserts. And if this carries on, that's a recipe for disaster, because we'll be middle of the table, mediocre, and I want to be better than that. I want to be top of the table. I want to be fighting the likes of Scunthorpe and the boys that are doing it on a regular basis. And I know I've got enough talent in there to do that, but the mentality at times is in question. And today's mentality came good in the second half because everybody joined in. But in the first half, it was a group of individuals. I might have put the wrong team up, I don't know. You know, I'm not blaming the players individually, I'm blaming myself. But when we made the changes, I thought, you know, the injection of a bit of quality from Ashley Hemmings, and that little bit of something that Malik gives you, you know, he's on top of the ground, he's a good player. And we were carrying the ball into the final third, and some great chances came our way, but we didn't manage to beat the keeper a second time. If we had won the game 2-1, I think their manager would have held his hands up. But you know, he's got a point out of it, and you could tell the way they were slowing the game down. They're at home, for God's sake, you know. And I know, listen, a point is a point, and I understand that, you know. But they're slowing the game down at home, and yet, if that had been at Agra, our home crowd would have been going ballistic. So, you know, we've got a target on our back. We know who we are, Kidderminster Harriers, and everybody wants to put a spanner in the works, and we've got to deal with that. That's the mentality of our group. We've got to deal with that, and not only deal with that off the field of play, get on the field of play and show them what we can do.
I did say as the players were coming out second half, I wonder if you'd strip the Wolves at half time, because lacking energy, and as you say, the strangers in that first half, and the defence either side of half time, you might have conceded more at the start of the second half. We could have.
I'm not saying they're not a threat at all, you know. They've got one player there that's now got 9 goals in 11 games, you know, and he scored again today. The kid's been at Middlesbrough, you know, so he knows what it's like at the highest level, but couldn't cope with that by all accounts. But we've got players that have played at a higher level. I've just been talking to, you know, David Davis and Amari Morgan-Smith, Ash Hemmings, you know, Topi, Obideo, and you're talking to players that have played at a higher level, so they know what it's like. The demands are greater, but the demands are not from the manager, the demands are from the players. When the player demands it from each other, that's when you get a performance. And in the second half, they raised the level of standard of the performance because we were one behind. We should never have been one behind, but you know, you can't take anything away from Spennymoor. They do what they do, and that's why they're successful at this level. But I was bitterly disappointed with 45 minutes. If I'd have paid money to watch that as a Kidderminster Harriers fan, I would be asking for a rebate. But the second half, they had something to shout about, and fortunately, it was a point instead of 3.
On the plus side, I don't know if you saw Amari Morgan-Smith goal 2 seasons ago here, where he curled one in from 30 yards, and spectacular again today. It
was a athletic, acrobatic overhead kick-ish. But at the same time, you have to look at what Amari's given us at the moment. We've given him the captaincy. He's grabbed a hold of it with 2 hands, and he wears it with so much pride. And he's now got 5 goals in 5 games. You know, he's been out concussed for 21 days protocol, and it was again Amari putting his head in. He's a brave player. He's a strong player. He does things that other players can't do at this level. And that's the reason why we re-signed him and gave him the captaincy, because he leads, he's a leader, and again he's led with a great finish. We had a couple of chances after that, and I thought it was a penalty myself, and I've argued with the manager and also the 4th official like a madman. But you become a madman when you're chasing 3 points instead of 1.